Welcome to Flowers and Tea, where ladies lead the conversation on politics, pot, and policy. This is our first episode, and we are here in Atlantic City in sunny Tien Lounge. Listen, there's not that many consumption lounges in the state of New Jersey, so this is history in the making. I'm Dr. Beast, but some of my friends call me Eliza, and I actually brought my friends with me.
Good evening, everyone. Really excited to be here. My name is Danielle Drummond. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and I am the Vice President of Social Equity for Ascend Wellness.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Johnson from Miami, Florida. I am the founder and CEO of Good Essence, and I'm very happy to be here.
Good evening. I'm Gretchen Gailey, and I'm here from Washington, D.C. I am the president of Project Champion, which is a bipartisan association of former professional athletes working for sensible cannabis legislation in Congress.
Suzanne Nicholson, by the way of St. Elizabeth, Black River, Jamaica, Galloway, South Jersey girl, CEO of Holistic Solutions.
Yes, and I am representing the Other Side Dispensary, Coffee and Cannabis, and now Flowers and Tea with this inaugural team. So let's just get into it. What the fuck is going on with hemp?
Well,
Shit, G, you be fighting the good fight down there. Tell me what's up.
I'm trying. Okay, so in a nutshell, Congress passed the continuing resolution last week, which reopened the government. But our dear friend, Senator Mitch McConnell, decided to sneak in a provision which would basically ban all hemp products that are above a 0.4 THC milligrams, which basically means everything.
Okay.
So just tuck it in there. So basically, folks have about a year to figure it out. Within a year, you are no longer allowed to sell these products.
Did Mitch just not want to go down with gas station weed on his name? He was staying on my name, I'm not going out like this.
Pretty much, but I would also love to put out there, we need to stop calling it gas station weed. There are so many legit operators in the hemp space that have all been lumped into this bad actor character because some call it a loophole, I call it law, that allowed them to go ahead, and science that allowed them to go ahead with these various products.
That's fair.
Congress knows nothing about regulating products like this, and they didn't think ahead when they were putting together the Farm Bill, and this industrious industry just took advantage of it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I will say, Jasmine, your store is pretty bougie, and you have hemp products. I mean, how do you feel about this?
Well, we operate under state compliance, even though it's not required under the Farm Bill. However, we look at it as the industry as a whole, as the opportunity to get in. It created a ton of accessibility, and that is the saddest part about this new proposed structure. I think it's a ton of time for things to change. It's going to bring a lot of comments and energy to the forefront, and that's what we need. We need more science, and we need more education behind it.
I like what you said about the access for the patients, because at the end of the day, if there's some states that just are not adult use or recreational or even have a medical program, how can people get the cannabis products that they need? And some folks, their alternative would be, the hemp-derived products. What is that going to look like now, I guess, for, the medical patients? I mean, I
think it's going to go where we have the access through the federal Farm Bill, but we're going to have more companies doing a state compliance. So it's not necessarily required, but if you actually build your stores in ways that medical dispensaries are operating, I think that's going to be the happy medium. You have to go above and beyond to make sure you're in compliance, because these are consumable products. And I think we can't negate that. I think we all want better testing standards. We want universal understanding of this plant, and I think that's what's going to be forced to happen now on a state level.
Well, and I think that's what people have really missed, that the hemp industry has been crying out for regulations. They've been asking Congress, please give us rules to follow so we can be legit operators and a part of this ecosystem. And Congress, as usual, has sat there and done nothing. That is what they do best.
So people, if they have 365 days, now what? What do they do with their businesses?
That's a question for Jasmine.
I definitely say this is where the model of smoke shops converting to more MMTC compliant facilities. We have a model where we can come in and we gut your store and we build it back in a compliant way so that you can still be in on the revenue. But I don't see them operating where you can just put products out on shelves. There is no type of way you're storing this, where there's controls. Right. That part, the COAs need to be publicly push and broadcast a bit more understanding of COAs, I see that coming to the forefront, and I think that's a great thing. It's unfortunate how it's coming to the forefront with pretty much ripping the rug from underneath 95% of the industry, but it is something that for us to all get on the same page from marijuana and hemp and let's call it cannabis and move forward with certain structures based off of use. If it's industrial, we go with industrial standards. If it's consumable product, we go with consumable standards. I don't think it's a very difficult way to process it, but I can understand when people throw things in the element to make it difficult. And I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think the good thing that's also coming out of this is we've seen a major outcry. The industry is coming together. I've heard people this past week were at an event where they are talking about cannabis and hemp getting on the same page and lobbying Congress. You're going to see an outcry from alcohol companies because they are going to beverages are going to be a big part of this.
Yeah.
That are also going to be impacted. And frankly, they have a lot more money than we do. So I think they are really going to help push this along. You got to come up with some type of regulations, and I think this is now going to force Congress to have to do something.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. Hemp, we are rooting for you. We are rooting for, honestly, all of us. Because as the great Miss Wanda James would say, we just need full legalization. We just need to make this like any other business. And I think here in New Jersey, we're really hoping to see some change. We have women at the helm, and now we have a female governor. I'm excited about that because she is a Navy veteran, as I am, and we both had some aviation experiences. So, I mean, how you feel about that? You think we're going to see some progress? I know you've been busting your ass really trying to get some policies changed and really advocate for reform. What you think?
Absolutely. I think this is a historic moment for New Jersey. This is the second time in our great state's history that we've elected a female executive. Yeah. I think it's time for women leadership to be at the helm. Unfortunately, New Jersey's in a very precarious position. We are in a budget deficit. And what do we know about budget deficits, ladies? They look to pilfer cannabis. We need to make sure that policies for our industry are not overregulated. We need to make sure that we're having conversations with this current transition and making sure when the governor is looking at where to fill budget gaps, it does not come from the increase of SEAF, the social equity excise fee. It should not come on the back of those who have been part of the legacy currently in the industry and are looking to be sustainable. We need to make sure that we are working collaboratively with our new governor. I think there's great potential for our state, but also I think that there's great challenges. But with any challenges, there's real opportunity. I think that we've resoundingly said that we want change. I'm hoping to see my electric bill go down day one. As an operator who operates a facility, electric has become extremely expensive in our facilities. So I'm looking forward to January 16th, day one, holding you to it, that bill should come down along with some other great things. I think, the reclassification of standalone independent operators and really having a bifurcated definition of a multi-state operator, because it leaves those like myself without any support through the NGDEA and other services, that we are exactly what New Jersey wanted to see. New Jersey residents building great businesses, and we need that support. So I'm really looking to engage with this new transition and new government, and I'm rooting for her.
Can I ask both you Jersey chicks, because I am not as familiar with your governor's race, where does she stand on cannabis? Did she come out vocally for the plant?
So she said she had an open heart. Senator Scaturi, who has been, let's keep it T, that before she said open heart. But
That's a sweet one.
Open heart.
Changing hearts and minds.
Senator Scaturi had great policy positions that were in alignment with the new elected governor. And with that, I believe in having conversations, going to the table and changing minds. We were able to get some legislative changes done by going and saying, hey, this is not working.
But that's all she said. I have an open heart.
Unfortunately, cannabis was not a big part of this year's election. So unless you had well-scripted conversations or direct, or you were just like Dr. Eliza going out there in the trenches like many of us and having that direct engagement, it's not clear where she fully stands on cannabis, and I think that that's a wonderful opportunity for industry to be a part of this transition. Many have talked about the reforming of maybe the CRC, maybe adding another policy. We need business acumen at the helm.
Yes.
If we know what's happened before us, we've seen that other states have become disastrous. Price compression, capacity, right here in Atlantic City. Mayor Smalls has talked about a cap for retail stores.
Yeah.
So we need to be thoughtful as New Jersey business leaders on what the future leads and to make sure that we're prepared for it and that we have sustainable, valuable assets.
Right. But I mean, even when they've backtracked with some of the things, I was actually doing some research on Atlantic City earlier because I'm always interested in just the math. It's very simple to understand how many generally you need in a city based on population and how.
Well, Danielle, you dealt with this. Massachusetts had a number, right? And then they have brought it back down a bit.
1,000%. And this is what I've always talked about in terms of these decisions have to be made based off the research and the data that we have available, right? And if there's data that we don't have, then we need to do that research so that way we can make informed decisions, right? It is incredibly imperative and will completely shape an industry or a market if you don't understand how many stores can actually open up within a certain space and be successful, right? Otherwise, you're just setting people up for failure. Right.
There are about 40,000. The population here is about 40,000. There are.
You mean Atlantic City?
Yes.
Okay.
Atlantic City. There are, don't super quote me, but I think between 16 and 19 that are open here. And some of them are just in 1 mile. The operators, and I actually had a conversation with an operator, there are operators that are looking at the cap and saying, well, this cap is still high, but we know that at least by the end of the year, 5 of them are going to close, so then we'll get a little bit closer to. Do you hear that logic?
Right. I was about to say, that should be the model.
That's not healthy logic. Like, that shit don't make this
That should not
okay.
be the model that you
What
are expecting
happened
people to
was that
fail.
there was real interest in making sure that cannabis was accessible for all, with great intention, with making it a no cap limit.
Accessible for all?
Well,
we need
again,
a one-on-one experience at the
No,
dispensary.
if you look at how cannabis has historically been, it's been a high cost access. Many of us would have never gotten an opportunity had the CRC not run prioritization as an issue. So if you're looking at how they came up with it and talking to the cannabis administrator, it was for the full effect of making sure that everyone had an opportunity. But again, your point is an opportunity in business acumen.
Yes.
How successful is your business going to be when there's 7 surrounded by them, when you're all selling the same product?
Right.
Becomes an opportunity to fail.
It does. And I think that's the Achilles heel. And now you can't, what does my mother say, push the toothpaste back out and put it back in? Because now you've given out licenses with entrepreneurs who are still building out. And now what will that be in 2026? So I do think that there needed to be something done. And as the mayor said, you know, we are in a very litigious state. But there will be unfortunate litigation with us.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to be the person on the right side of the aisle, but isn't that what the free market's for? I mean, if you're a good business, you'll stay in business. If you're a bad business, you go out of business. Don't give me those eyeballs. It's the truth.
But there's principles around that.
I don't think it's a right or left.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I'm an independent,
Sure.
you know, first time voting and, you know, registered independent. I think that it is free market. But again, if we're selling people a false dream and false narrative, that you should mortgage your house, leverage your assets, that you have never started a business that is cash king.
Yep.
And
This is not
without
normal.
business acumen, support, a resource, a network, good legal, those businesses are set up for failure.
Shouldn't the argument be more than for lower barriers to entry?
Yeah.
And allow more people in and then figure out who's a good shop and who's not.
That didn't work either. We went through a competitive round. When we were licensed, the CRC did not exist.
Right.
It didn't exist.
Was your life better then?
No.
It
Come
was-
on, spill that tea.
No,
Well, it was the Department of Health, right?
Let's say that. No, so I was a public employee, and because I won a license, they stripped me of my pension. Make it make sense. So yes, my life was better because I had worked 24 years for a government, then I had 6 months to retirement, that because of a license, they said that I could not keep both. So no, that wasn't great. But would I then say that I'm doing something that I'm living my ancestors' dreams? Absolutely, but at what cost? At what cost?
At what cost?
I'll tell you guys the cost. You know that house I've always been talking about? Yeah, we close on Thursday. Hey, more money to pour into my fucking cannabis money pit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is not generational wealth. This is not what was promised. I mean, I know for me, like, I told you guys, I jumped in this when I was literally getting out of the military, and matter of fact, I'm lying, I was kind of still in. I was med boarding, getting pushed out, and I was like, I guess this is going to be my new lane. And I literally was reading articles from Governor Murphy, like, we want veterans, we want minorities, we want women. And I'm like, oh my God, I check every box of the boxes. Yeah. And no help, no EDA support, nothing. And so, yeah, G, I mean, I hear you, the free market, but in this particular industry with zero support, it's literally impossible.
And with a promise of equity. You can't promise equity without but you can't put that out, to Suzanne's point, as a selling point for people to get into this industry by saying, oh, we're going to help to right the wrongs, we're going to make sure people have access, we're going to make sure that you can make money, this is going to be generational wealth, and you have generational debt now. Sure. You're putting people in a position where they can't even get access to bankruptcy funds if they flunk out. Yeah. Right. So, how is it that you are actually getting people to the place where they can be thriving businesses and not businesses that are going to close? You're setting your citizens up for failure if you don't do this well. Right.
I think it's a regulatory issue. A regulation stated that I could not lower or sell my license, and the same regulation said in order to keep my license, I had to keep it within the full percentage. So because I was a state employee, I had to lower my percentage to 5%. But my award letter said, had I done that, it would nullify my award. Make it make sense.
This is what happens when folks don't talk.
I could not give my license or even keep it with the relative because regulations here in our great state disallow that. I'm hoping the new governor is listening and we're fixing this immediately.
Right.
So again, there is no generational wealth here in New Jersey. There's no ability for siblings or other people with relatives to be related that look like us to be able to pass our license to safely, allow our siblings and others to get into it. But again, I'm very hopeful under this new administration that this will be righted because this is wrong.
Well, and I think that's the greatest failure of this industry in total is that they have set up these regs stuck in the stigma of the war on drugs. No other industry or businesses are set up, and to say this, but to right the wrongs of past problems. You need to be looking at these as business issues. You need to be treating everyone like you treat any other legal business. You got to stop looking at cannabis as a sin and move forward with it as genuine, regular businesses.
That's fair, but I also don't. The thing is, like, I don't think really black people even ask for that, right? I think there's just like misconception that's like, oh, the war on drugs, we're gonna fix it by giving you a really difficult business to run.
With no money.
With no money.
No education.
You're welcome. Like, that's not really a gift. So, like, I hear no other industry has been created for, like, something like that. But at the same time, like, the thought should be that we're using the infrastructure of this to then support the wrongs. But to, like, give someone a problem is... Anyways, listen, speaking of wrongs, I know someone who tried to help their brother who was in social equity and repair the wrongs of what their experience was and has been here for 15 plus years and is now taking it in her hands to run for Congress because, well, what the fuck else can you do when you can't, fix your business that you've just been leading forever? So please, Miss Wanda James, welcome.
Oh, what a welcome.
Come on in. So, Miss Wanda James.
Hey.
Thanks for coming to sit with the ladies.
I love sitting with the ladies.
But
we're all about the ladies. The flowers are the ladies.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Flowers and Tien. I know that you've been on Coffee and Cannabis.
I have been.
And you introduced that you're running for Congress, but now you in it.
I'm in it. We done announced. We done hired people. We done, raising money. Yeah, we're in the game.
All right. Well, I know that we definitely got some questions for you because we want to know what's going on. I mean, see what you got.
Listen, I am curious, Wanda. If you were to be able to be the architect of our new cannabis reform, how would you organize the industry to create a winning national strategy? Like, what would that strategy look like?
We talking about depth. There we go.
That's a great question.
Talk to us.
I want to hear. I want to know.
Well, you guys are just going to jump right off into it.
Get right to it.
So listen, you know, I've been doing this for 16 years now, right? 16 years. We have been operating in a gray market. To the best of my knowledge, I don't believe any other industry has existed in a gray market in the way that we have, right? That's right. It's not sustainable, it does not work, and it's wrong on every level. As you talked about, as we've all talked about, as you have seen. There is only one answer, as far as I'm concerned, to being a member of Congress, and that's full-on legalization. Because everything that we do, we keep twisting ourselves in these ridiculous knots to make things work. And you can't make them work in a gray market. You can have a great dispensary, you can have a wonderful dispensary, and you might need new lights in your grow facility, and you got to give away 50% of your company to somebody to get $100,000 to put new lights in your grow facility, because you can't go to a bank that says, hey, I've been in operation now for 5 years, I'm making good money, can I get a line of credit to upgrade my thing? Can't do it. The gray market has failed on every level that there is. And the thing about the cannabis industry, there is only one answer. There's only one, and that's full-on legalization. I can go deeper. The bigger issue is we keep giving money and talking to all of these elected officials, and I don't care what side of the aisle they're on, we keep talking to them. And they keep saying that they're going to deschedule, that we're going to get safe banking, that they're going to figure out social equity. And then they go into a room and they come out, well, couldn't get safe banking, we couldn't get social equity, and we couldn't deschedule.
Like, what were you talking
What
about?
can you do?
What can you do? And we have all written millions of dollars in checks over 16 years for them to say this and have nothing happened. So look, we send one of our own to Congress. One of our own. You ain't got to explain to me what a pre-roll is.
Okay, all right.
Right? And when I come out of the room, I'm going to tell you what happened. And let me tell you this, though. I'm not coming out of the room without full-on legalization.
I like this strategy. I'm down. I'm down for this. See, this is why I wanted to start there. That's the right energy.
Well, I love this strategy. You gotta get a whole lot more support. I mean, because as we just saw, you know, this past week with the hemp ban, Rand Paul was the only guy standing up saying, "Don't do this." One vote's not enough. How are you going to build support among these folks who have been so anti for so many years?
So, you know, it's really interesting when you start to talk about how do you build that kind of support, right? And we got Rand Paul, we got Cory Booker, we've got a number of people, we've got John Hickenlooper, well, I'm talking about the Senate too, we've got John Hickenlooper, we've got a number of people who are already, we got Kirsten Gillibrand. I mean, there are a bunch of folks out there, we got Ro Khanna, we got a bunch of people out there who are already doing it, but the problem is nobody has the wherewithal to stand up and say, we're doing it. And part of that is our fault. And the reason why is, I'm already an elected official, right, for the University of Colorado. So people, I get these emails all the time, and people say, I want to make sure that we keep history as a degree. Of course you do. We want different things in engineering. Do you know this thing isn't happening in that school? This thing isn't happening in that school. That's not happening in that school. You get confused because there's so much that one person can't do it, right? Or can't understand it all. And the problem with politicians, and you know this, they have one goal.
Re-election.
That's it.
Yep.
And when I've got this group, hemp, saying this to me, I've got people against cannabis saying this to me, I've got part of the cannabis industry saying one thing, another part of the cannabis industry saying one thing. What do I do to make sure I get reelected?
Nothing. It's the only thing to do. That's right.
So when you send one of us
That's right.
to the Hill, I'm coming out the room and I'm telling on everybody. Flat out.
That's it.
Flat
Love it. Love
out.
The only way to do it.
That's the only way to do it. I'm either you with us or you in a Guinness.
right.
I mean, those are your two choices.
That's right.
That's it, right?
Yep.
The other thing too, when I'm elected, the shock waves that it's going to send, that somebody, not a cannabis advocate or a cannabis activist or someone that believes in cannabis, when we say we sent cannabis to Congress, it's a very different conversation because they know they ain't going to be bullshitting me at the table.
That's right.
That's where we get the support.
Okay.
And
I'm looking forward to it.
in the meantime, where do players like myself, what do we do? How do we hold in this next year? How do we prepare for this change that may be coming? I'm on both sides, but in the meantime, what do we do? Where do we go? God.
No, how do you, first thing you can do. We got to start putting our heads in the sand. You got to face this head on.
Yeah, we never put our heads in the sand. Girl. You know, when I think about that, what they have done is an amazing divide and conquer on all of us. To the best of my knowledge, the cannabis plant is the cannabis plant is the cannabis plant. It's the cannabis plant. And we have divided it into this weirdness of all types of things, right? And they've been able to pit everybody against everybody, right? Well, why do they get to sell cannabis on Instagram and we can't sell cannabis on Instagram? Why do they get to not be regulated and we have to? Why do they get a bank account? No, we don't get a bank account. And to be honest with you, none of it makes sense. And there's only one answer. What's the answer?
Legalization.
Full legalization. Yeah. Honestly, y'all, that's the only answer. What's going to happen in the next 365 days? I'll be honest with you, I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of thinks that 365 days means that's how long we've got to figure it out. But, you know, and I got to tell you, and here's why I don't know, and I'm the worst person to have this conversation with, because since 2009, I opened my dispensary in 2009. By 2010, I felt for sure if Colorado and Washington legalized, we were going to legalize. And then when California legalized, we were definitely going to legalize. When Illinois said they were going to legalize, oh, hell, we legalize them. When New York said we're legalized, I was like, we're legalizing. Right. So honestly, I have woken up every day for 16 years believing that we were legalizing. So we got 365 days to figure it out. I don't know how that's going to work out. I really don't. And I really wish I could give you a more educated answer to what that's going to look like. But honestly, who saw it coming to the point where it wasn't working, right? We had a hemp bill, right? Mitch McConnell woke up one morning and decided we don't have a hemp bill. I mean, and then we invaded Venezuela. So, you know, I don't know.
And then Prince from Saudi Arabia showed up. I mean, all sorts of things are going on.
The Prince from Saudi Arabia showed up. I mean, honestly.
The dinner was fly. Like, it was horses and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was horses and a military flyby. I mean.
Top tier.
Top tier.
Don't get me started on the military.
Right.
I mean, we can do a whole podcast on the Navy, right?
Yeah.
Well,
and what you all don't see, I know we went to the back up. What you all don't see in the Venezuelan thing. So I was in anti-submarine warfare when I was in the Navy. Under the water, we got subs with ballistic missiles in the Caribbean right now. Somebody make that make sense to me, especially when 6 SEALs could take Venezuela. I mean, I don't.
She said 6.
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't understand why we need this ridiculous show of power. It's grotesque.
It is.
We're America. We don't have to do that.
Right.
We absolutely do not have to do that. And we didn't have to tear down the East Wing either. But whatever.
We have a Department of War. I think that's like the theme that they're going on now.
That's so crazy.
That's so crazy.
But you know, looking at sustainability and equity, which has been the vision of your last 16 years, how do we get there, Wanda? I mean, will there ever be equity and sustainability? I believe that we can have both. What are your thoughts?
There's only one answer.
Legalization.
It's legalization. And when we start to think about, you know, sustainability and equity, right, the only way that you can start to draw on equity is by having equitable policies in place. And right now, we can't have those as long as we're operating in this gray market, because the gray market makes it impossible for all of us at this table to be funded. You know, even you're a woman, you know.
I've been shut down 4 times, and all I do is talk about pot.
I mean, it's crazy, and I don't know anybody who happens to be of color. I mean, unless you're coming from an extremely wealthy family, which isn't many of us. How do you manage equity in this space, right? I'm talking to people that it's taken them 4 years to get open, a year to get open, and during that year, because of all of the policies you have in place, you're putting out $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month just to hold on to the space that you have.
You love to talk about me when I'm right next to you.
I was going to say,
I'm she.
I mean, it's repulsive, and it's designed to take advantage of us. It's designed to make sure that we have the exact opposite of generational wealth, right?
Yep, correct.
I've gotten so many people that have called me like they've got this license and they're so excited, and my heart just goes out for them because that might be the thing that breaks their family.
That
It
part.
might be the thing that breaks your family.
Correct. That's right.
And there's only one answer.
Legalization.
That's the only answer. It's the only thing that everybody in this industry needs to talk about, right? It's the only plan. It's the only thing that works. Everything else is just twisting and turning us into knots that does not work.
Well, I will say there's one thing that you have already done in this race for Congress that I think has changed a lot of people. You have introduced Diana DeGette to the cannabis industry.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I'm
sorry.
In our last podcast, we discussed how she does not have much of a track record to run on when it comes to cannabis. I think I know the answer, legalization. But what are you going to really try and push forward? Because you're going to be working with folks who are going to be like, give us SAFE, give us states, give us this. Are you going to just come with your own bill? How are you going to do this and show people, even though she may have a good rating from normal, that's just because she showed up to some votes. I've been in this for 11 years, working on the Hill. I have never walked into that woman's office. Didn't know she cared. Didn't know she existed.
She doesn't, and she doesn't.
All right.
Yeah, so there are things. So once again, you're talking about the incremental steps behind the whole part of it. I'll be honest with you, and I'll be calling you because I would like to make one of my very first bills as the brand new Congresswoman, because we're going to get press when this happens, right? It's going to be big because first off, we're going to unseat a 30-year incumbent, so that's going to be a thing, right? Once we unseat this 30-year incumbent, like Tupac says, all eyes on me. And we're not going to waste that time. Right? So I would love to be able to introduce the bill that says exactly what we've been talking about. Full-on legalization right now, all y'all. Here we go. Let's move with it, right? But if we have to go incrementally, right, number one, deschedule, fair regulation, banking reform, insurance reform, right, equity. Nobody who is in jail today, and I don't care if it's in Alabama, Idaho, or wherever that's happening, you're done. You're not done. You're out, right? Because we're not going to have somebody making $1 million and in Congress selling cannabis and then arrest some kid in Alabama for a dime bag, last night. We're not doing that, right? So we have that short window of time where this is going to be exciting and powerful, and I'm going to be asking sensible people on both sides of the aisle
They exist. There's a few.
To step with us, right? Because honestly, this is going to be popular because here's the thing. There's only one group of people in America that don't want this. Your elected officials. That's it. That's it.
Knowing they use it. Knowing they're using it.
You know what? They may or may not. I will tell you that, being an elected official right now in Colorado, that at our Christmas parties, they put down 3 bottles of tequila. And when I say something jokingly, like I'm going to get all y'all stoned before I get off of this board, they all have a complete breakdown and a heart attack, like someone has brought something to them. I'm like, y'all just drank 3 bottles of tequila. What are you talking about? But seriously, we're going to have this short period of time where we will have all eyes on cannabis. And my goal is going to be to bring this whole entire industry with one giant message with everybody behind us, because it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, one band, one sound.
One band, one sound.
Exactly.
And while I love that you're going to be our champion on the Hill, what else do you want people to know about you? You're not just going to be one issue.
No. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not actually running on cannabis because Congress, I'm not a one-trick pony. I just want us to know, because we're on a podcast now talking about cannabis. I am one of us, right? I'm a cannabis professional. I'm also a vet, right? So the other thing that I'm going to be running on is things that make sense. We need to send more vets to Congress, because the one thing that I'll tell you about vets, most of us are anti-war because we know what war does. We've seen it. We have felt it. We have friends. We have family who have been through it, right? War is horrific, right? Even I was talking to a friend of mine, even what's going on in Venezuela right now, when we do those types of wartime activities and training exercises, being in the military is dangerous. Somebody is going to get hurt. Concussions and head injuries are common on board Navy ships because things are moving around. Stuff is flying off and on those ships. You're literally catapulting a jet off of a ship. Dangerous. You know, you're in the air. Things happen, right? So these are just dangerous things. So one, anti-war, these aren't things that we do, and we need more vets in Congress standing up and saying we just don't bully smaller countries. We are not the Department of War. We are the Department of Defense.
Correct.
We need to get back to that. What else am I running on? Healthcare. Healthcare, 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 healthcare. Universal healthcare, Medicare for all. And I'm happy to talk about whichever one that makes sense right now. But y'all, my mom is British, my family is British, and our medical system does not make sense. It does not make sense. It's not good for small business owners. I own a small business. I would love not to have to lose people to go to work for big organizations who don't want to go to work for big organizations, but those organizations can help them take care of their family medically.
Right. Correct.
You know, people want to work for small businesses. They want to know who the CEO is. They want to be around a family that cares about them, right? But I can't compete with IBM, right? So healthcare. Extremely important. First-time home buyers. I'm not sure what's going on here in New Jersey, but when Diana DeGette got elected in Colorado, in Denver, in my district, the average home cost was $156,000, right? You ain't buying a home in my neighborhood right now unless you're shelling out $750,000 to $1 million.
Listen, I live in Boston. I hear you.
That part. and those aren't the homes you're going to walk in and be like, girl.
Yeah, right. It still needs some work.
It's going to need so many things. Like, you paid $1 million for this? That's what it's going to be, right? So we need to be able to figure out how to get first-time home buyers housing credits and funding to be able to make that happen.
You can 50-year mortgages. You got this.
Never to own, always to lease.
We came up with that idea, right? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I can't believe that.
You can have a 100-year lease on that new car. I mean, it's just crazy, right? But understand what home ownership means, right? Home ownership really is the beginning of generational wealth.
Yes.
You know, your home can fund your business. You know, your home can take care of you, you know? And more importantly, it's your home, right? So that's important to me. And lastly, being a University of Colorado Regent, being a first-gen graduate of a university, and I'm only here because I am a college graduate, I'm going to back what Bernie Sanders put up. Any household, any family of four making less than $125,000, K through 16 in a public university in your state is free for you. There is no reason why we should not be the most educated group of people in the world. And lastly, I keep saying lastly, but this goes along with education. I don't believe in free lunch. You can't shake your head at that. You can't be like, you don't believe in free lunch. What does that mean? I believe in lunch. Lunch. Give the kids lunch. Federally, make sure that there are programs and funding that any kid going through K through 12 gets lunch. We're not going to shame children because your parents weren't able to put money on the books to feed you at lunchtime. Yes. What the hell is that?
Yes.
I believe in lunch for everybody. I don't care if your parents make $1 million, if your parents make $2. Lunch, not free lunch, just lunch. And to me, those are the pillars of a great society. We feed children, we educate people, we give you health care, and we make sure that you're able to afford your first home. And we don't go to war unless it's absolutely necessary. And we legalize cannabis.
That's right.
That's it. It seems basic to me, right? This isn't rocket science.
Yet we always find a way to flub it up.
Very much so.
What do you need from us? What do you need from the cannabis industry to make sure you are out there pushing for us for legalization? How do we get to you?
I am so glad that you asked that question.
I had to think.
I am so glad that you asked that question. My Republican sister over here.
It's always about the money.
It's always about the money. It is always about the money, and I love that. So look, we all want reform in politics. You know, everybody talks about it, but there is no way that anybody goes to Congress without raising money. I'm going to need to raise about $2.4 million to unseat this 30-year incumbent who has done nothing for any of us, right? And there's only one way to do that. Everybody that I talk to has got to write me a check, has got to write us a check. It's not for me, it's for us. And when I'm there, I will talk about things like term limits. Nobody should be in office for 30 years. I don't care who you are, right? I believe in a 10-year term limit. We need to talk about taking money out of politics. Citizen United, which makes corporations and businesses people, that needs to go away because nobody should be able to put $30,000, $100,000, $25 million into a race, right? It should just be people that are able to write those checks. But here's the problem. It's not happening now. And my election is on June 28th. It's not going to change between now and June 28th. So I need everybody in cannabis to write me a check. The max out is $3,500. $35 is great. $3,500 is fabulous, right? But I need us to write a check to things that you believe in. And not just me. If you believe in your city council member, write them a check. If you believe in the person who is, going to be your next governor, write her a check, right? But then write me a check, though, too. But no, I do. And I really want cannabis to fund this because my opponent is terrified right now about what cannabis is going to do. Somebody on her staff said she's really nervous about what cannabis can do for you. There's also things called independent expenditures, which is horrible, but it's called dark money. And folks that have a lot of money that want to be a part of an independent expenditure, that can be a part of politics as well, too. I would like to see that go away. Once I'm elected, I would fight to remove that from politics. But here's the thing. It's not going to happen before June 28th. So we're in the game, and that's how we're fighting it. So I need y'all to write me a check. WandaForCongress.com.
3,500. 3500, nothing less. And I just want to put my professor hat on really quickly because Gretchen, you want to just give like a lesson on what the dark money and how to get all? Can we explain that to what people? I'm only asking because I know you have Project Champion. You've explained to me like other groups. I always see everybody talking about APAC, right? There's all these different methods.
Sure.
Can we just give like a little explanation so that when she said the dark money, the viewers can understand?
So, I mean, there are many ways to give money to politicians and many wonderful secretive ways to give money to politicians as well. And we can do it through PACs. And not that, I'm trying to be secretive, but Project Champion is a C4 and people can donate as much as they want to a C4. And their name is not on the books. So if you love pot and want to see legalization, give money to Project Champion and then I can give it to somebody else. So there are lots of ways to do things. But yeah, there's all sorts of different ways. But individuals are, like Wanda said, 3,500. They are limited to what they're allowed to donate.
Okay. So now I'm going to put my strategist hat on.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we got to give all the money to Project Champion because they don't want to know. They don't want anybody to know that.
I'm just saying, if they want to hide out, I'm not. If people are like, no, I don't want to show everyone that I'm, donating to the pot lady. Give it to me, and I will donate to the pot.
This is a great strategy. Because not for nothing. I hate. It is crazy. The dark money thing, the language around it, it's all crazy. But I can totally understand if you didn't want people to know certain things about what you were doing.
And a lot of businesses do it that way because they also don't want to upset customers on one side of the aisle or not of who they are supporting.
Right.
But I mean, truly, in Congress, you got to support both sides if you want to get anything done.
Fair.
You need both sides to pass things. I know, sadly, that's the truth. Embrace it, Wanda. You need some of us on the right.
No, we do. I mean, we need Americans
as well.
Yes.
We do. We need everybody to come to the table on this. But money and politics is a really interesting thing, and that's something that we absolutely need to address to make sure that we have a little bit more fairness when it comes to.
I would love to see limits on election, just like
I would too.
a month before an election is when they start. Dude, if I
would
gotta
too.
watch a year-long worth of
Agreed.
campaign commercials, I'm gonna stab myself.
It is a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The money that we raised for the presidential election, we could have wiped out childhood poverty. We could have funded every child in America to go to college if they should desire. There are so many things that we could have done, and with the amount of money that we spend on electing a president of the United States, it's repulsive.
It's crazy.
What about our Democratic leadership? What's going on with your 2020, 25, 2026 vision of where the Democrats are going to end up in a leadership position? Is it going to be Senator Schumer still hanging on? Are we going to see some new light? And AOC might run. I'm hearing that's very much possibilities. And then
But she's not up in 26.
She's not, but Schumer.
Hopefully we'll drop dead soon, but
Wow.
I'm just saying. the
That
man does
that
nothing.
part. That part.
That's mine.
No.
So once again, we come back to the fact, so just real quick, and I don't want to take all this, Schumer needs to go. Nobody should be in office for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It just should not happen, no matter what age you get in. If you got elected at 26, you're done by 36.
Right.
I mean, it does not matter, right? But the idea that somebody can be in Congress this long, or be in the Senate this long, or
Yes.
Congress House in the Senate, but the issue becomes, we have a thing called the DCCC, which is the Democratic Campaign Committee. Do you know the Democratic Campaign Committee will blackball any organization that works for anybody who is challenging an incumbent? So
Sure.
it took me forever to build my team
Yep.
because they were being threatened and they're conflicted out if they want to ever be able to work for the D-Trip again or get government contracts to work for somebody who is challenging. Thank God there are people out there that are like, I don't care, we're doing this anyway. But it is ridiculous that we have these things in place to protect the incumbency. And not just Democrats, Republicans do it as
Sure.
well too.
Of
But
course.
it is absurd because if an incumbent can't hold on to their seat with the power of the incumbency behind them,
That's right.
then they shouldn't have it in the first place.
Right.
Well, and it's so funny. I sent, some notices out about you to some friends, and they're like, "You're shilling for a Democrat?" And I'm just like, I'm shilling for somebody who has a brain in their head and cares about cannabis.
Right.
That
And
part.
people.
Yeah.
I cannot any longer. I mean, it's just insane. And that's one thing that I think we really need to do as an industry. So many people, you
Yeah.
go to the polls and
Yeah.
and I get this, you vote on the economy, you vote on immigration, you vote on abortion. We need to be showing up and voting on pot.
That
we
part.
need to make that an issue
That
that we
part.
care about, or
That
our
part.
businesses are never going to grow.
That part.
Patients won't have access.
That
It's
part.
insane. We have to put that first and foremost. I don't care what side you're on. We have to do it.
have to
Gretchen
do it.
underscore
Agreed.
that
We have to
point.
do it.
That was why I asked that question in the beginning of how would you organize this? Because that is one of the biggest things is push our energy together around those candidates who we know are going to support us, right? Why change people's minds when you can put who you want in that
Right.
position in the first place?
Right.
Yep.
Right?
You know how much fun it is to try and change the mind of an 80-year-old white
Yeah.
guy? Oh my God. If I hear her, just say no one more time. Nancy Reagan, I'm coming for her. I mean,
Are we
it's
still
insane.
doing that?
Yes. You'll find out when you get there.
Cannabis is on the ballot in Florida
wow.
for 2026.
Her picture's
so-
still hanging over
We're
mantles.
gonna
They
see.
love her.
Yeah.
Wow,
We're
we're
gonna
still
see.
doing that. But I got that bottle of tequila if you want it.
That will help. That will be an icebreaker for these guys.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we are trying something new. I think we are going. This is like a new era. Let me not get into my astrology bag now, but
could.
new energy is coming. It's a new season. I feel it in so many ways. The reality is, at least for us here in New Jersey, we have new leadership.
We do.
There's just so much newness coming in, and you're gonna try something new, and we're gonna send you to Congress, and you're gonna do what you need to do. We have something new happening here.
right.
We have set the table with the ladies with big brains and incredible contributions to be able to push this forward, because all of the other efforts have not worked. Right? Spent a ton of money on lobbyists. Companies themselves have had their own interests and spent money on states. There has just been so many efforts that haven't worked. So at this point, why the fuck not? We got flowers and tea. We're sending Wanda to Congress, and we're trying something new. We got to make this happen. The cannabis industry has been around for way too long, and it's not sustainable.
It's not
To your point, it is not sustainable, and any other industry that is operated like this would have ceased to exist by now. This exists because we all continue to show up. We all continue to fight for this plant. The mother, it's a woman. The women are at the
That's
table, and it is set. Thank you. This is Flowers and Tea. We will see you every Wednesday right here on YouTube. Check us out. Peace.